Good afternoon and welcome to the House Environment Committee. We are taking up a committee bill, miscellaneous fish and wildlife statutes with our legislative council.
Good afternoon, Bradley Shulman, Office of Legislative Counsel. And we are on draft 2.1 of the Technical Corrections Committee Bill dated 3/10/2026. There are two changes to the bill since the last time I brought this into the committee. I'll walk through those. The first change is on page 4, lines 8 and 9. Last time when we were in committee discussing this bill, we explained that there is a conflict in versions between the Department of Fish and Wildlife's version of Title 10 Appendix A and our version of Title 10 Appendix A. To avoid confusion for the public, what we recommended was to take out the pin citations, so the citations to D, E, and F, and just explain what the penalty is. So violating bag limits for caribou, elk, and moose. Yeah. Page 6, at the very bottom, lines 19-20, and then on to page 7. So it's an additional request from the Department of Fish and Wildlife to remove a small section of session law from 1999. This piece of session law was part of a general fund appropriation back then, stating that the department has to involve Vermont citizens and municipalities in developing and updating every 10 years a long-term comprehensive plan for management of portions of land which are transferred to it. I just read from page 7, lines 11-14. The department has indicated in testimony that they prepare long-range management plans for all state-managed wildlands on a 20-year schedule, and this requirement from 1999 is unnecessary and forces reprioritization of state resources away from more urgent processes. And so that's just a little blurb that I got from Hannah by email. If you have questions about that piece, Hannah is here, and I'm sure she would be willing to answer questions about that. But this portion strikes that provision from that session law.
Members have questions. Representative Pritchard.
Yeah. So, and was the fee thing was struck,
No,
or is that still there?
That is still there. So
they're right above the blue 14.
yes, that is the fee provision is page 6, line 14 through 18.
Okay. Okay, and can I offer some alternative language to that, maybe just for the committee to consider?
To the fee language?
Yes.
Or what do you?
So, if the board determines that it's necessary to issue or require additional big game tags or permits that are not otherwise identified in this section in order to maintain the best health population and utilization levels of a regulated big game species, the department may issue such tags and permits and may assess a fee for such tags and permits of no more than the prevailing rate for big game tag. I think that was
I mean, I guess I'm curious where did the language come from?
actually Mike, and he discussed it with, I think he discussed it. You had conversation with the commissioner.
Yeah.
And I think I think probably at one point, Representative Sakowitz had a concern about that. This addresses it better. There used to be it's probably 8 or 9 years ago, you used to, there actually used to be a $2 limit in Vermont. So there was an additional tag that has been since gone away because there's a $1 limit. So, I mean, this is specific to tags as far as fee goes. I talked to Bill Canfield yesterday about this after you had mentioned the Ways and Means. And I wanted to see Representative Kornheiser this morning just to talk to her, but she was busy, so I didn't get a chance. But, you know, I had a discussion with Bill and told him it was, you know, essentially, you know, to deal with the tags. And
Representative Chapin, do you have a?
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear that this is coming in response partly to Representative Sakowitz's concerns about this paragraph that were expressed
Yeah.
earlier on in the
Yeah.
process. So people have been thinking about it offline and it's language, you know, narrows it to clarifies and narrows it to big game tags, and instead of setting a fee here, aligning the max fee with other similar tag fees. I would just support that change language. It seems useful.
But what would be the other similar, because your basic hunting license includes your deer tag, so is that?
well, see,
$8?
that was the change. See, the deer rules changed this year. So
I
now,
understand that part, but this thing is, your language that I don't have in front of me is proposing tying it to existing fees. And when you look at the list above, it doesn't actually, does it call out deer anywhere? Or,
big game. So that would be deer, moose,
big
turkey.
game is listed in there. But I don't see deer. on there.
Specifically big game tags.
I don't see deer on there, is my point.
Well,
Archery license is the closest, or muzzle loader, I guess, 23.
oh, in the bill itself, you mean?
Oh, additional deer archery tag, it's already on
Yeah.
there. It's already on there anyway, additional deer archery tag.
This is not an archery tag. This is not an archery tag. So they changed the laws this year.
Just do that then.
It's in the rule. Yeah.
Excuse me, what is it? You mean the additional tag that you can't charge for right now?
Right.
This language is linking it to the existing tag. I'm just curious, what is the cost for, what would this be if they added a deer tag? What would it be? How much would it cost?
For the record, this is Hannah Smith with the Department of Fish and Wildlife. The original language that the department had proposed was a tag or permit of not more than $40. This new language would give the department slightly more flexibility, but I assume that off the cuff, it would not be more than $23 right now, since that's the rate for an additional archery deer tag.
I'm just saying it doesn't say on that list. So it's,
Right, so we don't have, there's no fee right now associated with that second buck tag, since it just went into effect at the beginning of this year. And I think that the department's idea was always that any new tag, the fee for any new tag would be consistent with a similar tag that's already established here. So I guess that, yeah, $23 is probably sort of the best guess.
can you read the last sentence of the proposed language again?
The prevailing rate for a big game tag. The department may issue tags and permits and may assess a fee for such tags and permits of no more than the prevailing rate for a big game tag.
And what's the prevailing rate? When I look
Oh,
at the
that's-
list, it ranges from $5 to $100.
Not for a game tag. No, I think it's,
It's right here, moose is 100, bear is 5. Yeah, like it's big game licenses all required hunting, like. Just looking at the list.
moose is through the permitting system. So it wouldn't be, that's not a tag. This is not a. That's not a tag you can normally purchase on your license.
This is,
Looking at the fees for licenses right here in statute in this bill.
is there another big
I'm
game?
not sure this is that, I'm not sure this is clarifying anything.
No, that's it,
Maybe.
Here's 100 to, here's
Yeah,
100.
right there.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah, that's not attached to the license, though. That's, I don't think that's an endorsement on the license, right, Anna? The Moose?
No.
No,
because
that's a
it's through the
separate-
lottery.
It's because, yeah, it's through the lottery.
Okay, I'm just saying the range on this list doesn't help me understand how much the tag would be in the language that you're proposing. So like it's. Am I missing anything?
Happy to clarify that. Chair would like to.
Mike Covey, yeah,
Mike Covey, Executive Director of World Traditions Coalition. The turkey tags, extra deer tags, muzzleloader tags, those are what I was thinking of. They all are at the same $23. And I thought that this would alleviate perhaps some of Representative Sackwood's concerns that it was too broad. And that having that language open-ended would allow the cost to grow even if it at some point exceeds $40. Rather than requiring revisiting it. If 20 years down the road, those tags are $50, it would allow that cost to grow along.
Representative
Yeah,
Oss.
sorry if we can we get a copy of this language?
That would be a good place to start, yeah.
That would be great. I mean. That'd be great.
We can also just ask our legislative council, like how best to address that. If we're trying to not be so specific in this paragraph about that max amount, can we is there a way you see to tie it to that?
Back and forth.
I think that the proposed language gives the department more discretion in setting the dollar. And and the limiting language there is, the prevailing rate. And so if the rates for other big game tags increase, then the authority to set fees under this statute would also increase. It lacks specificity in lieu of flexibility.
Representative Hoyt.
Can you, so you just mentioned, Mike, some of the things that you wanted to be in line with. Can you just say they can assess a fee for such tags and permits and it will be the same fee as the additional deer archery tag?
Yeah, that
So it's 23 and that it can grow in the future if that ever changes. I mean, it seems less wide open. It just links it directly to that one. So I get the concern. I mean, you see it for the big game permits or big game licenses. It lists a bunch of different ones varying from $5 to $100. It looks like a lot of them are 23, but if you specifically linked it to the additional deer, then right now it'd be 23. And then if that went up in the future, it would follow suit. I just don't know if that's a way to make it more clear of what it actually is. That's it.
I guess we can try that on in the next draft. What Representative Hoyt just suggested.
Sorry, I had one other question too. I thought it mentioned on page 4, 8, and 9, the appendix language of striking the specific sites to the subsections.
Yes.
Did you mention that the language after it is new? Just
No.
because it's not, but that's the existing language.
That is the existing language.
Seasoned bag limits for caribou, elk, and moose.
Yes.
Okay, so you're just striking that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Further questions or comments on the proposed changed language? Okay,
So we're going to get another draft
yes,
with the proposed line.
we are.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, that's might do it.
Okay, great.
That we will take a break. We'll recess until 2 o'clock.